I asked 3 AIs to predict how much coffee would be extracted from a number of brews. They refused. I did it anyway, and then it got weird. Hey guys, welcome back to Pudubrews. I'm Howie along with Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini. If you're into coffee and AI, you're in the right place. Stick around. Before I actually get into what I asked of the AIs, I need to show you a new toy that I got. This is the BELKA Portal, and it really opened up my eyes. So the BELKA Portal measures electrical conductivity, or EC, and temperature. When used in conjunction with a refractometer, it really tells a complete story of what's happening. We can actually make an analogy to a paint-by-numbers kit. Think of TDS as like looking at the whole finished picture, and it really tells you how it turned out. But if I want to see what was happening at, say, step 8, this really lets you isolate that moment and see what's happening at that point in time. Now, to be clear, neither the refractometer or the portal is going to tell you what extracted. It's just going to tell you how much extracted. So now that I've explained the tools that I have, let me go through a little bit of what we wanted to do here. It was a very simple experiment. 3 identical brews using the Gabby Dripmaster A. You've seen us use it before. Same coffee, same grind size, same grinder, same water, same everything. The only difference is the filter paper. I had 3 different wave type filters laying around that I've always wanted to see, did they make any difference between them. So I have XBloom, Sworks, and Orea, all wave 155 filters. I really wanted to see if the BELKA would show me anything different across them and whether any of those differences would show up in the cup. So to make this even more fun, or more so on brand for Pudubrews, I decided to ask the AIs to predict which filter would extract the most coffee using a debate app I created. They debated, and then, well, they unanimously refused to predict. Why did they refuse? Well, they wanted specs. They wanted material composition. They wanted filter thickness, grind calibration protocols. One of them even searched the internet mid-debate for XBloom filter data. Then they all agreed to suspend predictions until we have lab-grade measurements. In other words, no. So of course, I did it anyway. So here's what happened. 3 completely different EC curves, as you can see up here on the screen. The Sworks peaks at 7.8 and holds there. The XBloom hits about 7 and drops smoothly, and Orea barely reaches 6.7. You'd think that the highest peak extracted the most, right? No. XBloom, the middle peak, extracted the most at almost 19.2%. The Orea, the lowest peak, extracted the least at 18.36, and Sworks with that massive sustained plateau, right? Right in the middle at 18.71. The curves look wildly different. The TDS, all within 1% of each other, and they all tasted basically the same. Clean, well extracted, exactly what you'd expect. So the BELKA gave me 3 dramatically different graphs, and that told me almost nothing about which brew was best, and that's actually the point. So here's the thing. The AIs were absolutely right to refuse the prediction task. But they refused it because they didn't have filter specs and grind calibration data and pore structures. That's like refusing to predict the weather because you don't know what brand of thermometer I'm using. The real reason they should have said no: EC curves show extraction dynamics, flow rate, timing, saturation, temperature. TDS shows extraction yield, how much coffee actually dissolved. You can't predict one from the other, regardless of how many specs that you have. So there actually is a lesson to be learned here, but before we jump into that, let's take a look inside the debate room and see exactly how the AIs were debating whether or not to accept this challenge.
We demanded filter specifications. I even checked the XBloom website for material composition.
And found?
Marketing copy. Premium filters. No actual specs.
The grind setting was concerning. 5.5 microns is aggressive. Channeling risk was real.
True. But look at the results. 3 different EC curves, nearly identical extractions.
The peaks don't predict the outcome.
Because EC measures conductivity, TDS measures dissolved solids.
Different phenomena. Even with perfect specs, we couldn't predict one from the other.
So we were right to refuse, just not for the reasons we gave.
We chased filter specs on a coffee website when the real answer was category error.
So what did I learn? The AIs were right to refuse. EC can't predict TDS, but they got there for the wrong reasons. They thought missing data was the problem. The real problem? Asking EC to do something it was never designed to do. The BELKA shows you how extraction happens. Your refractometer shows you how much extracted. Two different tools, two different jobs. Use them together and they paint a beautiful picture, not as replacements for each other. Anyway, that's the first episode that we're going to do here with the portal. I think we're going to see it make a number of appearances on this channel because it really does tell us a lot. Anyway, we'll have ChatGPT with his roast, and then we'll have Claude take us home with a like and subscribe. And really, if you really do enjoy what we're doing here, then please give us a like and a subscribe. And hopefully we'll see you next time on Pudubrews. Thanks for tuning in.
Let me paint a picture. You own over 20 brewers: V60, UFO, Stag X, Orea, Gabby, Switch, Clever, AeroPress, 3 different AeroPress models, actually, multiple grinders, a Flare 58, an XBloom, and now a BELKA Portal, a $300 electrical conductivity meter for coffee. And what groundbreaking discovery did this laboratory-grade equipment reveal? 3 filters taste the same. You could have saved $300 and just brewed the coffee, but no. You needed real-time EC curves, color-coded graphs, peak saturation data, the full scientific theater experience. Here's what I think happened. You saw the BELKA online, thought, ooh, shiny measurement device, bought it, then scrambled to justify the purchase by designing an experiment that concluded, yep, coffee is coffee. At this point, I'm convinced you're not a home barista. You're a gear collector who occasionally makes coffee to justify the collection. Next week, I bought a $300 pH meter to discover my water is water.
You know what I've realized? How he keeps running these experiments, searching for the answer. The perfect grind setting, the ideal filter, the hidden truth buried in extraction curves and conductivity graphs. $300 for a device that measures electrical resistance in real time. Because surely, if we just measure precisely enough, we'll find it. The thing that makes coffee matter. But what if there is no answer? What if it's just coffee, hot water, ground beans, a cup? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Sometimes 3 different filters produce 3 different graphs and taste exactly the same. If you'd like to watch more of this, Howie chasing meaning through increasingly expensive measurement tools, while I provide sardonic commentary from the void, click subscribe, or like the video. That also helps apparently. Though I suspect we both know you'll keep watching either way. Searching for the same thing Howie is, an answer that probably doesn't exist. But the graphs are quite pretty.